Why do cities like New York implement anti-homeless design? It's okay to want social services for the homeless and to want them not to gather in your backyard. People who live there don't want their public spaces covered in feces and needles and trash and smelling of urine constantly. It's for the benefit of the non-homeless people in the area who don't want the homeless population to settle in there. It feels inhumane, but considering the trash drug paraphernalia that comes with the homeless population, I also understand it. What people don't get is that the vast majority of people who are sleeping outside instead of in a shelter are the ones that you don't want around. They are either violent, hopelessly addicted to a drug, or very mentally ill. Usually a combination of the three. People have to get this image of the down on your luck unemployed out of their mind if we're ever going to solve the problem and get them the help they actually need. Because allowing vagrants to take over public spaces ruins them for everyone else, and there is a hell of a lot more everyone else who vote than vagrants. Because the solution to homelessness is housing, not comfortable benches in a park. To try to keep the homeless from ruining public spaces. Because wherever homeless people gather, you tend to find things like used syringes. It's also just a bad look for the city to have a bunch of homeless people on display. And they harass people for free money, so they try to force them into places with less foot traffic. Because no one likes drug addicts jerking off next to them while they are waiting for a cab or the train. To convince homeless people to move to cities that did not introduce anti-homeless design. New York has a large and expansive shelter system that most homeless people don't want to deal with. It's to keep them more from congregating than anything, as you'll see the occasional homeless person sleeping on the ground here and there. Good they should. No one would give the homeless a hard time if they had an ounce of respect for anything. Because it's much cheaper than the alternative to provide public sanitation facility, housing, mental health care, etc. We just call it winter. I will get downvoted on this, but where I live they tend to congregate near waterways. The filth that goes into the waterways is unbelievable. They also pee, poop, wherever they are. It's not a matter of not wanting to see homeless, as Dunn have said, or being afraid. It's sadly a very unhygienic lifestyle and hazardous. For themselves and others. HTTPS. FW many don't want to live any other way. I mean, it's pretty self-apparent, no? Yet tired of the urine and feces and trash and needles in those areas. I'd sure like to see some mental health hospitals built and get the mentally ill homeless off the streets into them, and drug rehab places to put the druggies in whether they like it or not. Because cities like Austin don't, and it ruins the entire urban area. Because most voters don't want to look at homeless people, but they also don't want to do anything to actually address the things that cause people to become homeless. Because they don't like homeless people.